Hey, I wanted to talk to you guys about the steals of the draft. Take a dartboard and just start pegging darts at it. How can you possibly name anybody as a steal of the draft if Malcolm Rodriguez is some Pro Bowl linebacker for the Detroit Lions either? David Ajabo.
That's a steal.
Is it a steal, though, if he sits out all season?
Yes. If Ajabo's there when the Lions picked, he went one pick ahead of the Lions when they chose Josh Pascal. You think they would have taken him?
I would love to know that answer. Hey, I wanted to talk to you guys about the steals of the draft. I saw this, and I always find these things interesting because I think you could take a dartboard and just start pegging darts at it, start pegging BBs at it, because as we take a look at it, there isn't one guy on here that we think is a steal. I guess I feel the same way about this as I feel about draft grades. How can you possibly name anybody as a steal of the draft?
Well, you could say Nakobe Dean.
Malcolm, but maybe he gets hurt and plays three games this year.
But you don't know that yet.
I know. Neither do you know if Malcolm Rodriguez is some Pro Bowl linebacker for the Detroit Lions either. David Ajabo.
That's a steal.
Is it a steal, though, if he sits out all season?
Yes, because Baltimore's got enough. And guess what? He is the perfect guy for that team.
That's also why, and you know what? I'm glad you brought up Ajabo, because that's also why I don't think that Nakobe Dean is the steal that everybody's talking about. The guy had a meniscus injury, he had an ankle injury, and the biggest thing of all is he had a pec injury that he refused to get surgery on. So it's already looking like this guy's going to miss significant time to start the season anyway. So yeah, that's why I was kind of out on, like, when I started learning that stuff throughout the draft, I'm like, oh, he's went through all of this.
How did that stay so quiet for so long, though?
It's the draft.
The draft.
It's poker.
No, but I mean, you would think a team would leak that
That's
out.
why he didn't work out. You never saw him work out.
I know, but you would think a team would leak that out, no?
Yeah, you would think so, but it kind of like started creeping out during the draft when he started having the slide and little whisper start leaking like a sieve. Like, oh, this is why.
Let me ask you this: if Ajabo's there when the Lions picked, he went one pick ahead of the Lions when they chose Josh Pascal. You think they would have taken him?
I would love to know that answer.
Do you think you could dig that up for us and find out if he really was on their board?
I'll do some homework and see if he was, but I personally would not have. If I were Brad Holmes in that position, I think they picked the right guy.
Look, Maz, I do too, because and we talked about the Dave Burkett article yesterday with the doctor
Jameson
who did the surgery on Jameson Williams. If with two of your first three picks, you take injured players, one of which, Ajabo, is probably not playing at all this year.
He's not.
I mean, he got injured in March. He's not going to see the field at all this year.
Pascal did have an injury, but he's fine.
But he'll be ready.
But he'll be good.
He'll be ready. I mean, you're taking all these injured guys. You can't just come to training camp with nobody.
They took the injured tight end as well.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can't come here with nobody.
Now, interesting. I won't say this was a steal, but I think that this guy will do something significant with the Ravens, who's going to be there with Ajabo, and that's Josh Ross. How he slipped through the cracks. I mean, I think when he gets that invite and he goes out there, he's going to show out, and then you got McDowell there.
That's the point there, Corey.
Mike
McDonald bringing his Michigan guys there. David Ajabo, because
wouldn't it have been nice to have Hutch and Ajabo back on the same line?
Yeah, it would have been
eventually.
Nice. But I think this is a better spot for Ajabo because he knows the playbook.
Yeah,
he knows the playbook like the back of his hand. So now coming in as a rookie, he really just has to focus on his health,
right?
And of course the speed of the game and learning the tweaks that McDonald has. But I think for Ajabo, I mean, this is an ultimate win here for him because he's going to a guy that he played for. He knows the playbook back of his hand. This is an absolute slam dunk win for Ajabo. He's going to be really good for the Ravens.
So I think Ajabo's going to be in the good spot. But yeah, like I said, that Josh Ross, when they got him, they were like, okay, you're going to have Ross and Ajabo by not this season, but next season, potentially together, win-win.
Hey, Fletch, put up the next name on our draft board, that one of the next steals. We have Ajabo. Who would be next up on that board? It's a pretty good, there you go.
Clark from LSU, the linebacker.
I don't know much about him, I got to be honest.
Why do they got him on there then? Because he wears an LSU helmet?
Probably.
But that's the point. That's why I hate these lists. That's why I hate these lists, because he's wearing an LSU helmet and he's probably,
That's fine.
you know.
Put up the next one. Let's see who pops up next year.
Now,
Jermaine Johnson.
Jermaine Johnson,
They
I
traded
really
back
like,
to get him.
Right? I mean, this is a guy that many people believe was a top
Dave Burkett's favorite
5
guy.
pick.
Yeah.
He was a last chance you guy, right?
Yep. Isn't
How
that
about
something?
that?
And he made it through.
See, I root
Both
for.
teams.
How can you not root for these people, right? I mean, when you talk about a guy's life, he just changed the course of his whole family's life. Guy that went to last chance you and took advantage of that last chance and made something out of himself. If I was a Jets fan, I mean, I'd be glowing about this guy.
Corey, how high on the board was Jermaine Johnson for the Lions?
I don't think he. I mean, as far as like those addresses, I don't know if he was in the mix. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think he was in the mix. But he if he wasn't, he should have been.
All right, Fletch, let's go with the next guy.
Dun dun dun.
Matt Corral.
Is it Coral or Corral? Do we know?
I've heard a lot of people say Corral, but I heard some people say it's Coral.
So he slips to the Panthers. Panthers, the reason they went and got him was they had finally had enough of trying to make a deal for Baker Mayfield. Or was it Baker Mayfield they were trying to make a deal for?
For Baker.
And once that deal fell apart, they were like, all right, that's enough. Enough of this crap. They went right up and they got their quarterback. I like the kid. He got hurt in his bowl game. Remember they said, don't play the game. Don't play the game. He got hurt. I remember he came out on crutches. Everyone was feeling bad for him. He winds up in a good spot. He could compete for a starting job there.
You know what's funny about all of these quarterbacks, and whether it's Coral or Corral, he'll be fine in Atlanta. He's going to play in Atlanta this year. Whether it's Kenny Pickett at Pittsburgh, which I don't know what they do with Mitch Trubisky. I think Trubisky is going to be a good player for Pittsburgh. I think Trubisky is in the perfect spot in Pittsburgh, and so is Pickett, though, too. You know, he doesn't have to be rushed onto the field in week 1. Maybe after, if they start 1-3, you can give them a look. But I think this rookie class, and again, I hate saying this stuff because you put it out, and then people tell you don't know what you're talking about. But it's just an opinion. I think this rookie class could be every bit as good as next year's rookie class. And I mentioned before, with C.J. Stroud, tell me the Ohio State quarterback currently in the NFL that you think is so good that, you know what, C.J. Stroud is going to happen. Who is that guy?
The Bears hope it's their guy.
I mean, C.J. Stroud is a consensus #1 overall pick next year. You're telling me that whoever gets him next year is going to have this franchise quarterback for the next 12 years?
Oh, no.
Are you that confident in C.J. Stroud next year?
I think it's a dangerous game. You know what? I was talking to ESPN's Jordan Reed, and I know people disagree with this mock draft, but I think people are playing a dangerous game looking into the future with these quarterbacks because they did good this past season, but you don't know what the hell is going to happen next season. You don't know who is going to shoot up. So just locking in as the Lions got to get one of those two guys, I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think you got to just let things play out. It's good to have those guys on your radar. It's good to try to strategize. Okay, if we do this, we could possibly get them. But you don't know. It could be a guy that could come out and have such a dynamic season that he leapfrogged both of them.
Bryce Young, I mean, at 5'10", 5'9", 5'10", is he going to be some year after year Pro Bowl quarterback that you must tank next year to get Bryce Young at #1 or #2 overall next year? I mean, that's who you're banking your franchise on. It's all a crapshoot. The whole thing is a crapshoot. Corey Woods, you're the man, my friend. Thanks for sitting in with us as Adam Baydoun gives you the double bird. I only got one.
That
you
means
get
he really
two.
loves you. That means he really loves you.